Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer. The feature race at Gulfstream Park on Saturday is the Grade 3 Hutcheson Stakes for 3-year-old sprinters traveling 6 furlongs. You can bet this nice Gulfstream card. We also have the Any Limit Stakes on tap at Gulfstream on Saturday. Please bet it with a DRF Bets account, because when you sign up at bets.drf.com, you double your action. You bet 100 and you get 100 with your sign-up bonus. Here's the short but sweet field for the 6 furlong Hutchison, carded as race number 12. Todd Pletcher is the morning line favorite, Mike. That's the number 2 Federal Case, who won his first 2 starts. And last time out in the Holy Bull, they tried to stretch him out. He got bet to 9-2. You could tell that they wanted to be forward in the first start around 2 turns and taking advantage of that inside post position. Those just didn't break very well, and then ended up on the hard chase on the outside. He was really trying to get into it, chasing a fast pace on the turn, and then he tired. I'm not sure I like the blinkers, and I'm not sure why Todd's turning him all the way back to 6. He's never been this short.
Yeah, the turn back, we'll see what happens with that. Listen, I don't really care about the Holy Bull. He didn't run great in there, but he didn't run terrible either. I sort of understand why they're putting blinkers on him, because he is the kind of horse, in his first 2 races anyway, where, I don't know, he didn't really seem like he was finishing that well in the race. And I'm not sure if that's just because he didn't have a lot left, or if maybe he was waiting on horses. The Win 2 back in particular, where he got the 88, because that horse that ran second to him ran right by him in the stretch. Like, this horse wasn't going to finish at all. And then he had a battle back to actually prevail. If you want to give him extra credit for that, I guess fine. I know he could win this race, Dan. I get why he's the favorite. I wanted to like him more than I actually like him, though. I know he could win. I'll use him. I feel like I can try and beat him in this race, though.
It is worth noting that in the interim, since the Holy Bull, he has a couple of bullet workouts, assuming blinkers have been on for those workouts. You want to check out the Mike Welsh Clocker report to see if that is the case. But from a pedigree standpoint, you know, by gemologist, the dam's a half to Fast Falcon, who was 3rd in the Travers. You would think maybe Todd would give him another chance going long, but perhaps this horse's niche will be as a late-running sprinter, and we'll see what the Timeform US Pace Projector has to say if the race will set up for him. And they've got Federal Case in a pretty good spot, sitting off of 3 speeds. It's not exactly a fast-paced scenario, but you never know with these sprinters. And we know that Federal Case has a little bit of heart, as you mentioned in his optional claiming Win 2 starts back. The horse expected to be on the lead closest to the rail is the number 1 In the Loop. He was a nice debut winner at Gulfstream on February the 23rd in pace-pressing fashion. He has a very solid pedigree. The dam is a full to the stakes-winning turf sprinter Greeley's Rocket, and a half to the multiple stakes-winning dirt sprinter Laurie's Rocket. So In the Loop's got some pedigree, and he looked good in his debut.
Yeah, I thought he ran fine in that race. He, you know, they had to ride him a little bit from the gate to show his speed, but he showed it. He took the race over. The horse that he held off at the end, the runner-up there, not only already had experience, that horse made a run at him in the stretch, like he was going to maybe go by, like he had the momentum. I like that this horse dug in and turned him away. I have no problem with this horse's debut. Drawn on the rail. Doesn't feel like a big deal to me in this field. There's only 4 horses, 2 is outside. This horse is a contender in here.
The 3 Gladiator Kings should also be forwardly placed. He was chasing that hot pace in the Fountain of Youth when completely overmatched. And when you go through his past performance lines, he's been overmatched in many races. Races like the Remsen, the Mucho Macho Man, the Holy Bull, the Fountain of Youth. He seems like a capable turf sprinter. He did win that inaugural at Tampa Bay Downs over a sloppy track with a good fig. So I'm not really sure that surface is going to make too much of an issue. It's just a question of whether he's good enough. But for a graded stakes, this came up pretty weak. He should fit.
I do think he fits in this race. Do I think he's a little bit better on turf than dirt? Maybe. I think he might be a little bit more of a turf sprinter, but he's run fine on the dirt. He's got speed. He should be able to get forward in this race. There's really nothing to knock about him, and he's probably the longest shot on the board.
Bill Mott has the 4 Topper T. This is an Iowa bred who won a stakes race against fellow state breds last summer as a 2-year-old at Prairie Meadows. Was privately purchased over the fall. They tried to turn this horse into a route horse. That's not what he is. It looks like he is a late-running sprinter. His dam was a stakes-winning dirt sprinter, and he picked up the pieces off a fast pace last time out in the Swale. Here's Bill Mott's formulator fact over the past 4 years. 3-year-old dirt sprinters off a 45 to 60-day layoff. He wins a third of the time with almost a $3 ROI, and if things get hot and heavy up front, this horse will be running late.
I mean, I guess the race should set up the right way for him. He's not going to be, I don't think he's going to be totally outrun in this race, but he should be off the pace somewhere. He got a trouble line for his return in the Swale last time. Did you see any trouble for him? I didn't see the trouble. To me, I didn't think he ran that great last time, to be honest with you. I guess the positive view of the Swale for him is he was off the layoff. Maybe he needed the race. I don't know, Dan. I want him to be better than that. So far, from what I've seen from this horse on the track, I just don't think he's that good, and I didn't really want him as one of the favorites in this race.
Well, let's see who we do want. We basically ended up on the same horse in the Grade 3 Hutcheson Stakes, and that's the number 5 Lutzky, dominant debut winner, went under the tutelage of Jason Service in his one and only start as a 2-year-old, then went to the sidelines for a long time, came back for Dermot Magner, a former Chad Brown assistant, and ran quite well, I thought. In his first start off the long layoff, he set a pressured pace while down towards the inside, and he was in against Mucho, who was the beaten favorite in the last year's hopeful, and might end up as a nice sprinter this year for Bill Mott. He has an ideal outside post position where he could either go to the lead or sit from off the pace, and if he can improve just slightly off that 82 buyer, I think he'll be tough.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything to add to that. I think this horse has run pretty well in both of his starts. I thought his return off the layoff last time, and it was a long layoff, I thought it was fine. I think if he can just take a small step forward off of that, this is the kind of field that he can beat, and I just love where he's drawn on the outside.
Beautiful sprint pedigree as well by the crack sprinter. Yes, it's true. The dam, a half to 2 black type earners sprinting on the dirt. Lutzky 4-1 on the morning line. Mike's going 5-1-2. I'm going 5-2-1 in the Grade 3 Hutcheson Stakes, and you can place your bets with DRF bets, because when you do, you double your action. Bet 100, get 100 at bets.drf.com. Approximate post time for the Grade 3 Hutcheson is 6:10 Eastern. Good luck.